Hello everybody, this is General Yanis. Today I'm making a rather special video. Wanted to wish you a happy new year for 2021 and basically take a look back at this very strange and turbulent 2020. And maybe as Mortarion says, 2020 was really the year of the Nurgle, maybe more than we would have wished even as Death Guard fans. But let's go through it. So the first of January in the new year 2021, of course, looking back at the 2020 that has passed, it was truly a remarkably bizarre year, and then I think we will be remembering for a long time. As we are stepping into 2021 and we're waiting for our new Codex, the pre-order date of the 16th of January, let's take the opportunity to look back at 2020 and what it had in store for Death Guard, and also briefly how I started with the hobby and started with collecting Death Guard in 2020, and also a bit about the Death Guard Tactics channel. So let's take a look, and yes, of course, I hope that 2021, I hope that Nurgle will dominate less in the real world and more on the 40k tabletop. So looking at the Death Guard year of 2020, I entered the hobby in March 2020, and it was a good time for this in the respect that the Death Guard models were easily and affordably accessible from the 8th edition starter sets, for example the Dark Imperium, where you could get quite a good starting army for Death Guard. But however, it was clearly to see, watching at the videos and different reports, that at the end of the 8th edition, Death Guard was a rather low tier, competitively speaking, having had its aged codex for already a couple of years with the introduction of the 8th edition. So there was not a very big hype, but I think the core players, of course, we enjoy the models and the lore and everything, but on the tabletop it was not, let's say, the best army, having been good in the beginning of the 8th, but then as more codexes were released and Space Marines getting more and more codexes as always, of course, then Death Guard was dropping in the rankings, let's say. But in June 2020, the Psychic Awakening War of the Spider arrived with plenty of updates, and good updates for Death Guard. So here we got the introduction of the Plague Companies, introducing new dynamics to the Death Guard lists. We got a bunch of new stratagems. We got 21 new ones to our previous only 14. New relics, new traits, new combos, new interesting stuff we could do with the Plague Companies and all these new stratagems. So for me, quickly, the Poxmongers became my favorite, with Ironclad Furnace relic and the Plagueburst Scrollers with accelerated entropy stratagem. The Foul Blightspawn quickly also was interested with Falgash stratagem and overwhelming generosity, giving him extra range. So it was some interesting things, and also the Demon's Toll for the Blightbringer. I especially enjoyed to bring the Blightbringer to advance Plague Marines, and then with the Demon's Toll they also had Invul Save, making them really disgusting or revolting, even revoltingly resilient against the heavy shots. So in June 2020 was good, and we got all these new rules from the Psychic Awakening that really helped us on the tabletop. At least that was my experience. Then it didn't take long to the introduction of the 9th edition, ending the 8th edition, and end of July it arrived with huge changes to the game, many of which actually have helped the Death Guard competitiveness. So now we have new primary and secondary objectives to the game, and for the primary objectives, durability is important, and being able to hold objectives is really important, and you can no longer just shoot from afar and win the game. You need to come and claim primary objectives, as well as the secondaries, which give another tactical feel to the game, maybe more exciting than previously. We have new missions and smaller boards. We saw point hikes for everything in general, making the lists, let's say, smaller and yeah, fewer models. And then Vehicles were buffed significantly in the 9th, allowed to move and shoot with no penalties and being able to shoot in point blank. And for me that meant more and more demon engines, and with a Plague Company, the Poxmongers, it was a good match. We also got the blast weapons rules, so the vehicles could damage high amounts of infantry even better. Not so good for our horde infantry, or in general horde infantry, for example like Poxwalkers, and it was more a move away to more elite infantry like Plague Marines. So when I started, I was using a bit more, for example, Poxwalkers, and then I ended up using more demon engines and Plague Marine combos. The fight sequence changed in the 9th, allowing the defender to fight first after the charge. Then Foul Blightspawn's aura became more important, because now you could make sure that you could fight the thing that charged you with a Foul Blightspawn close before they had the chance to fight back at you. So I've been using the Foul Blightspawn a lot after these changes. We also have introduction of strategic reserves. We have the detachment rule changes, and of course many changes from 8th to 9th. I'm just listing some here and how they influence. So this gives some other dimension, being able to bring some of the units that didn't have deep strike abilities further in the board. And then the detachment rules changes. It's now more advantageous to use fewer detachments, because they cost command points. Previously you were getting command points. And also the Crusade mode was introduced in the 9th edition, which I think was quite fun, and I launched on a crusade with a couple of friends, and with my small combat patrol here. So, but then our long-awaited Codex was ultimately delayed from the December 2020 launch. We have had some reveals of stats and new rules, although without the complete picture of from the points and all the rules in the Codex, it's not easy to make a conclusion. But the biggest change so far seems to be the Disgusting Resilience, changing from Feel No Pain to a -1 damage. The demon engines will become even stronger going forward, hitting on 3+, and no penalties shooting in point blank with our new Inexorable Advance. So I think it will bring even more focus on the demon engines, at least from what I think right now. All our units seem to be getting more attacks. Our infantry will be getting more wounds, like the Space Marines, and we get this -1 toughness army-wide aura. But of course, we have to wait for the Codex to see where everything will be going, and especially the point costs. So my Warhammer journey with more 2020 was very turbulent for me, as I expect for a lot of people, but I ended up having more time in my hands in the beginning of 2020, and I have been playing some Warhammer themed video games over the years, and I was remembering in my school years, many years back, I had a couple of friends collecting Space Marines. Maybe I don't even know what edition that was in the 90s. Maybe it's second edition or something like this. So on a hunch, I just ordered the First Strike starter set to try it out with my kids. And the box arrived in the beginning of March, but so did also the coronavirus, and we had a lockdown in Denmark where I live, and we had a lot of time in our hands, and we started to collect and model and paint and so on this pack. Not so many models, but it was a good start. But the kids, sure enough, didn't want to play with the Death Guard and the Poxwalkers because they didn't like the look of them. So I had to play them. And having played a bit with this with the Death Guard, I was of course caught by Nurgle. So I couldn't play Space Marines. They seem so lackluster in comparison to the Death Guard. So as the restrictions lifted, I was able to get more, and I could get to some stores and order more Death Guard. I was able to get more starter sets, such as the Dark Imperium and Ono Fear, and I started to get a solid base for Death Guard to build up from, collecting more and more units over the months. And then having been collecting and building and painting and starting theory crafting and thinking about lists and watching battle reports, I was actually eager to try playing the game for real, not only some practice with my kids. So when the conditions allowed it, I got my first introductory game. It was at 2,000 points versus the orcs, and it was a nice table that they had here. And my poxwalkers and my home converted the typhus and blow drones from the starter test. They won the day. I also learned that day about the green tide, having killed a big bunch of orc boys, leaving only one, and then with a stratagem they were back to 20 again. And I was I didn't know this rule, but my plague marines cut them down with the flails in any case, and my poxwalkers surrounded some of their big characters and managed to with help from Typhus's psychic abilities, they managed to cut down some orc bosses, and that was really nice. I played also a few more memorable games, meeting a lot of new people and good games. One of the biggest defeat I got was facing the Necrons with Doomsday Arcs. They just shot me off the table, and I was really unprepared for this enemy. And then I made the rematch, and I took Mortarion. Very hard to see here, but then I could actually win the rematch. So there some interesting memorable games when the situation was allowing it, but now it's again more restrictions and more difficult to play. So ever since I started, I've been collecting ever more death cards. So currently I have a collection of over 7,000 points. Not all of them are painted, or not all of them are yeah, completely done, but I'm waiting also a bit about the Codex. So in my list I have basically nearly all the characters. I have Mortarion, I have Plaguecasters and Demon Prince and Typhus, Chaos Lord and Lord of Contagion. On the troop side, I have a very large number of Plague Marines. Not all are shown here, but I have 8 with Blight Launchers and 4 Flails, which is my favorite loadout, as you might know from watching the videos. I have 60 Poxwalkers, which I think will be enough, but let's see if they are playable in the new edition. I have some Cultists also I haven't painted. Then I have on the Elites, I have 15 Blightlord Terminators with 2 Flails. I have 6 Death Shroud Terminators to make some list with Mortarion. And I have some Hellbrutes I have never used on the tabletop. I'm eager to see if they can be used. And I have the special characters and 2 Foul Blightspawn. Maybe I would need 1 more to have 3 of those. In the fast attack, I have 5 30 blow drones, 3 with speeders, 1 mower and 1 with blight launcher. Eager to see the points for those going forward. I really like the 30 blow drone with the speeders in my early games, but then with the point increase in the 9th, they were not really playable at 155 points. And 3 Mephitic Blight Holders. I only had the 2, so I got 1 more when I saw that 3 they have the Trilobe and hitting a 3+. But let's see if this is necessary going forward, because they will be getting 3+ ballistic skill in any case. With the multi-melta new rules, they are really good, but let's see the points. And the heavy support, one of my favorite models, the Plague Burst Crawlers. I have 3 of those with entropy cannons. Maybe I should have magnetized, maybe I should have been able, but I think I have the Plague Speeders. Maybe I can cut and do some magnetizing if needed. And I also have some Chaos Rhino for transportation I've used, but maybe here I could also get some Terrax Assault Drill now that we know that we can use it. So of course I have been a bit more hesitant in the last couple of since the when they said the Codex will come in December. I've not painted so much more and collected more because I'm just waiting to see where I should take my collection and my list. So can the Hellbrutes become useful? I have 4. I'm eager to see if they can be used. Will I need to add some Possessed or Chaos Spawn to add some elite infantry more, and maybe I could get some Defilers that I don't have, and probably I could use 1 more Demon Prince and the Lord of Virulence when we finally get to know what he is. So basically 2020 was the year where I started my collection, and now I have a big collection, but I hope 2021 also gives the opportunity to play more and maybe even go to a tournament. So about my channel here, the Death Card Tactics, this has also been quite a big journey, and here are some numbers. So in September I posted a bit cautiously my first ever video on Death Guard tactics, and it was about the power level changes of Death Guard units from 8th to 9th and some Crusade implications. It has been viewed 250 times by then, so it was a good start, let's say. But since then I've been posted almost 55 videos until the end of 2020, in the last 3 months, let's say. And in total, they have been viewed almost 43,000 times for a total of a very high amount of minutes, so equivalent to 4,000 hours. And as for the demographics and some statistics for this video as well, some math, the demographics of the viewers, I think, give a quite clear picture who the viewers are. 99.7% are men and 0.3% are women, female. Who could have guessed, actually? So a huge thanks to all the supporters of the channel, now numbering almost 850 people, and thank you for all your kind words and comments and feedback, ever helping the channel forward. You are also very good if I make a mistake in the video to let me know, and also with good suggestions and yeah, good ideas of new videos, etc. And of course, finally, a very special thanks to my patrons at patreon.com, General Yanis, for your support. So this is a shout out for Dennis and Stuart and Manusos. So some summary and final thoughts as 2020 has become 2021. 2020 has brought many changes to the world and the game. For Death Guard, I believe we're in a better position now, as we are greatly anticipating our new Codex. Hopefully we still will be a force to be reckoned with in the tabletops of Warhammer 40k. And the best thing that 2020 has brought for me personally was getting into this hobby and starting this channel, and meeting all you good Warhammer people, or let's say even better, Death Guard people in real life, as well as on the internet, in the Facebook groups and on the YouTube channel and etc. So it's I think it's a very good community, and it's a good hobby and a good good loads of fun, even when we get some nerves of the rules. And in 2021, with a new Codex at hand, I will do my best efforts to bring you quickly the analysis and tactics for our new army and new rules, trying to calculate the best weapon loadouts, some good lists, etc. So finally, the far future might be grimdark, but I hope 2021 will be a bright year for us all. So with these words, this concludes the video. Please let me know in the comments what you wish for in 2021, and if you have some ideas of your own Death Guard collection, yeah, if you like the videos in the channel, please subscribe, and as I said, I will do my best efforts to bring you good analysis and good data for you to continue your Death Guard collection. So with these words, General Yanis is signing out. Stay safe out there still in 2021, and bye-bye.